So I got a Harley, and my honest opinion of it is it was a little disappointing. I wasn't exactly thrilled with this motorcycle when I first got it. A little bit better now, but yeah, I got a Harley now. I still have my ZX10. Still got that. That hasn't changed. I still kind of ride the ZX10 more than this. As you can see, I got aftermarket handlebars on it, aftermarket windscreen. I'm probably not going to be recording a whole lot. Of course, I haven't recorded a whole lot recently anyway, but I'm probably not going to be recording a whole lot on this bike because the view from here isn't exactly great because that giant windscreen on there, because that's an aftermarket windscreen too. Another point that I'm going to make is, yeah, when I first bought this bike, this thing kind of sucked. I was about to take it back. Or not even take it back. I was just going to trade it in for something totally different because I was so disappointed with this bike. Like, riding it in completely stock form, essentially, the wind buffeting was so horrendous on this thing that it gave me a headache. Like, really bad. A really bad headache. The handlebars were extremely uncomfortable because they were so low. Like, the handlebars were like all the way down here, you know, like they were pretty low, and it kind of hurt your forearms. Now I know on a sport bike they're like that too, but that's kind of what you expect. You know, you're not buying that for comfort. I bought this for comfort, and it was very uncomfortable. Everything about it was very uncomfortable, and I hadn't even had it for, I think, a week, and I was already about to trade it in for just something totally different. But I had read that the windscreens on them from the factory suck, and the handlebars from the factory suck, and everyone changes them out. So I was like, all right, I'll change them. So I got 14-inch KST bars, and I installed those. That made a huge difference on comfort for, you know, my hands and arms and stuff. And then I installed this windscreen here. This whatchamajigget. Installed the windscreen here, which is a 10-inch Clockworks windscreen, and it made a huge difference as far as the wind buffeting goes. Like, there's almost no wind buffeting now, and the ride is so much more enjoyable. But here's the thing: when you're spending $25,000 on a motorcycle, I expect it to be pretty much perfect from the factory. I kind of get the handlebars. They put the handlebars down there so that way these mirrors are above your hands, and so that your hands are behind the fairing. So I'll give them the handlebars. That one's fine. But the windscreen, just, you know, creating such horrible wind buffeting, it's like, that's sort of unacceptable when you're spending that amount of money on a bike. I've had a lot of motorcycles, a lot. And the Street Glide here, this is the most disappointed I have ever been with a motorcycle. And it's also the most amount of money that I've ever spent on a motorcycle. And it was hands down the worst one out the gate. So I was very displeased. It's better now. It's actually rideable now. I'm actually enjoying it now. But the fact that you have to make modifications to it just to make it enjoyable after you spent $25,000 on it, and then you got to go spend another $1,000 just to make it comfortable, and that's not even, like, I don't have an exhaust or an aftermarket exhaust on this or anything yet. I haven't done any of that. I strictly just changed out the handlebars and the windscreen. Oh, and I put saddlebag guards on there, but that's not necessarily. I just did that in case I ever drop it. But yeah, in order just to make it comfortable enough to enjoy the ride, you got to spend $1,000 after you spend $25,000. I mean, I guess it's not that much in comparison to $25,000, but it's still frustrating. I should have test rode it first, but I didn't. Actually, I didn't even go in to buy this bike. We went in to look at some used bikes just to kind of get, like, some price ideas. And that was where I found out how bad Harley's hurting right now for sales, because they knocked a ton of money off MSRP for this thing. They gave us more than what we paid for the Honda Rebel 2 years ago, or a year ago, whatever. Well, I think it's 2 years ago. More than what we paid for that. So we made money on that bike, technically, not by like $100, but we still made technically money on that bike. Just so they could make the sale on a brand new one, which they wouldn't give us that much if we went with a used one. They said only on new ones. So got a good deal, and I didn't even test ride it because I was like, yeah, screw it. It's, you know, it's the best Harley. It's like, you know, the flagship Harley. You know, the Street Glide and the Road Glide are the flagship Harleys. So I'm thinking it's going to be a good bike. It's got to be. It's a $25,000 flagship Harley. Of course it's going to be good. And then it wasn't. And I was extremely disappointed. I was thinking about trading it in and getting an Indian. But I don't know how much better an Indian's really going to be. Like, I know Indians are probably better bikes. I understand that. From what I understand, everything about them is just like higher quality in general. But you know, this was such a good deal that I was like, screw it, I'll just get the Harley. I was kind of price comparing a little bit at the same time between Indian and Harley. Oh, dude, my freaking windscreen's getting all kinds of fogged up. But anyway, yeah, like I've had a lot of bikes, and I've had a few cruisers, actually only a couple cruisers. I've had a Kawasaki Vulcan, and I had a Harley Sportster. And of course the Sportster, I love that bike, but also, I mean, it had its issues with it that I didn't really like about it, but at the same time it was so cheap that I'm like, I'm okay with it because it didn't cost me very much money, so I didn't really care. I care this time. And my Vulcan, so is this a better bike than a Vulcan? Yeah, but not by a lot, by very, very little. We actually considered trading this in and going and getting another Kawasaki Vulcan, which you can buy like new for like $8,000. They're so cheap, and they're so good for what they are and for what they cost. And we were considering trading this in and just going and getting another Vulcan. So here's how I look at this bike. I look at this and I go like, this is a good bike if it was $15,000. Because it's not that much better than another $15,000 cruiser. If you take out this big screen, it's got a lot of cool technology. I'll give it that. It's got some cool technology to it. But as far as the ride goes, it's not so much better than like a Kawasaki Vulcan that you should spend $25,000. Just don't do what I did. Go get a Vulcan. You're going to get your money's worth. Like, we bought our Vulcan used in 2017. We bought it used. It was a 2012 for $5,000. And so far, I have enjoyed that bike more than I have this bike. And it was only $5,000. It was significantly slower. It had almost no tech to it. Actually, you can pretty much say it had zero tech to it aside from your speedometer. And that's electronic, so we'll call that tech. And yeah, the screen on this is cool, but really, everyone's going to screens. This isn't like some huge breakthrough. Everyone's going to screens. You can get a CF Moto that has a screen on it that will give you navigation and like all this other stuff and all this other information on like this really large screen. And it's like $12,000. The screen's nothing special. It's not new. It's not, you know, this huge breakthrough. It's just a breakthrough for Harley because Harley's always behind on everything, which is fine. I would be more cool with it if it was like they went more old school and went totally analog and went, you know, kind of back to like the old days of Harley. That would be cool too. Maybe they should do that and quit trying to aim for technology and just go back to like the good old days with Harley, except, you know, give them reliability. But, you know, go back to the heritage and just have the modern reliability. But I don't know, pretty disappointed in it. It's significantly better now. I'm gonna keep it. I like it now, but I still don't think it's worth what these things cost. I don't think it's worth anywhere close to what these things cost. I mean, you look at Indian too. Like Indian, you can lock the saddlebags by pushing a button on your key fob. With these, you still have to like hunch over and, you know, put a key in it and then lock it, which is, you know, that's first world problems. I get that, but at the same time, Indians are like the same price or cheaper, and you get more with an Indian. So I've done a lot of complaining about the Harley. What I will say that's good about the Harley is it's got a pretty smooth ride to it for the most part. Rides pretty easy with a passenger. My wife rides on the back of it. She also hated it too at first and likes it now, so she's in the same boat. It's pretty comfortable for the most part though. I mean, the new seat that they put on these new ones, it's not bad. It's comfortable. It's much more comfortable than a sport bike. It does have a cool factor to it. I'll give it that. It's a Harley. It's a street glide. It's got a cool factor to it. Especially with the ape hangers. You got your arms up here. You kind of feel like a badass, even though you're not. I mean, some people might be. I'm not. But, I mean, you know, it's got a little cool factor to it. I love the front end on it. I think the new fairing on these things, the new fairing on these things look great. I'll give them that. But honestly, the best part about this bike was when I bought it. So when I bought the bike, we went in there late because we were just planning to just kind of look around at the used stuff and just kind of see what they had and what prices were running right now for like used Harleys. And they ended up convincing us. We were there like after hours and everything doing paperwork. You know, they were supposed to be closed. But, you know, of course they stay open for a sale like every dealership would. So we didn't have a way of getting home because we drove the car out there. We also had our trade-in, but our trade-in was at the house, so they took our trade-in without even seeing it. So our sales guy rode the bike home for us, and his plan was to grab our trade-in and then ride that back to Harley. And then this like crazy thunderstorm hit. Really bad thunderstorm. And this dude got caught in the storm. I mean, like hail, thunder, lightning, high winds. The tornado sirens are going off. There's warnings going off on the radio. It was bad. And he rode this thing home in that. We didn't know the storm was coming. He didn't know. We didn't know. Nobody knew. We weren't paying attention to the weather at all. And I ended up driving him in our car back to the dealership because I was like, dude, you're not freaking driving that stupid bike all the way back to the dealership. No way. I'll take you back to the dealership. It's not that far. Just, you know, if you want to get it tomorrow, come by and get it because I can't really get it there, you know, because I had to work. I was like, come by, you know, tomorrow. And which they did. They brought their truck and trailer and you know, came by and picked it up. But yeah, this dude drove this thing home for us in the pouring down rain, lightning, winds, hail. No damage to the bike, luckily, and no damage to him, luckily. We just ended up laughing about it the whole time. Like, he came inside our house and everything, you know, gave him a towel because he was just drenched with rain. I mean, yeah, that was kind of the best part about buying this bike, was just getting the story of this dude riding that thing all the way to our house, soaking wet. It was pretty funny. Yeah, he was laughing about it too. There's another Street Glide, a little bit of an older one. Something else I found out. Is this thing still running? Yeah! Something else I found out. Also, so, I always complained about like Harley guys not waving at me on my sport bike, but like whenever I was on my cruisers, they all waved. I had like sport bike guys not wave at me on my Harley now. So you know what? We all just kind of suck a little bit. I guess we all suck. Everybody sucks. I mean, I know it's kind of a stupid thing, like, oh, what do you wave at each other? I don't know, it's just kind of a common courtesy, like, hey man, be safe. So it's just one of those things. you know, just kind of telling somebody else on a motorcycle, which is, you know, inherently dangerous, just, you know, hey man, I see you, be safe. And it kind of annoys me because, you know, I'll do the wave to other people, you know, intending that to be the message behind it, and then they won't wave back at me, you know, because I'm on a sport bike. And they strictly won't wave because I'm on a sport bike and they're on a Harley. But now I've had I've had a few guys on sport bikes who won't wave at me because I'm on a Harley. I'm like, all right, okay, I guess we all suck. Everybody sucks a little bit. Man, I need to make more videos. I ran out of videos because I kind of like, you know, I made a bunch of videos before winter hit so I could like edit and put some up in the winter time, and then I ran out, and then we just got rain and rain and rain and rain and rain, and I wasn't riding a ton. I got the bikes out like a couple of times, but not much, and I just kept forgetting to take my GoPro with me. And then every time, like halfway through the ride, I was like, oh man, I keep forgetting to do that. But I think we're getting out of the rainy season a little bit now. I mean, we got rain coming here in like a couple of hours, so I guess we're not totally out, but at least it's not like we're getting weeks of rain, like a week straight of rain like we were. Did the handlebars just move a little bit? No, they're good. I'm always cautious about the handlebars now because I had ape hangers on my Sportster, and if you put just a little too much pressure on them, they would just like crank down because they were cheapo ones and they didn't grip onto the clamps very well. And I installed these ones myself. And so of course, like if you do it yourself, you're more paranoid because you're like, I'm not a professional and I don't know what I'm doing, so something's gonna break. But these are like insanely easy to install. You don't have to like replace the brake lines on them because they give you enough slack from the factory to go up to like a 14-inch tall a bar, and you have to change out the upper portion of the clutch cable, which is really cool that they split it up, and then it has like a connection point down here, and you only have to change out like the upper portion of the cable, so you just get a cable extension. It's super easy. I did it in like an afternoon, and then I ordered these bars that they pre-wire the bars, so I didn't have to pull like all the wires through the inside of the bars or anything. They put wiring harnesses all through the bars, so like these are like literally plug and play. You just got to take off the entire front end of the bike, like all of this stuff, everything, it all has to come off, which is actually super simple on these ones. It wasn't bad at all. It was so easy to do considering I had never done it before, and I was really intimidated because you got to take off like all the fairings on the front. I was pretty intimidated at first, and then I watched the KST videos where they kind of walk you through what to do, and it's super simple. I'll say KST has it up like on their YouTube channel of like how to change everything out. Super simple, very easy to do. And then of course I put the saddlebag guards on it and put the windscreen on and all that stuff. I think I'm going to try to do all the work on this bike myself. I'm not getting into the engine or anything, so I'm not doing anything crazy like that. Yeah, pretty much all I got for today. I just wanted to complain about my first world problems. I know, I got it pretty good. I really shouldn't complain too much. I got a good life. There's just little things that frustrate me, like spending $25,000 on a bike that sucks. But besides that, I was able to spend $25,000 on a bike. I can't complain. And I got that Camaro. Look at that thing. The thing looks sick. That's another video I'll complain about though. It's a sick car. Oh god. Anyway, Cat, love you. Bye bye.